The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that...
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
If you've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population, this place absolutely outshines it.
Alrighty, welcome. Sorry about that. Welcome. And this is what happened just now. Welcome. This is it's Monday. It's Emancipation Mary Prince Week. It is Cup Match Week in Bermuda. The date is, let me check, July 27th. Wow, that was something just now, folks. I hate to begin the show like this, but literally as the intro was playing, everything shut down just now. Everything shut down. So bear with us a second as we get everything up. That's me being very vulnerable with you, letting you know what happened just now. So bear with me. Give me a second. That means Cup Match Selection Night took a toll on us the other night, but give us a second as I set up and get the show going. But let me know in the meantime, how's things going? How you all feeling? Did you have a great weekend? Let us know. Let us know. As I get everything up and going again. I did tell you what day it is, right? It is Monday, the 27th day of July. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Linda's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075. I'm Jamal Hartman, and welcome to the Daily Hour. So how's everyone feeling? How are you feeling about your team? How are you feeling? I mean, we had selection night, you know, no going back now. No going back. The teams have been named. They've been named. No going back now. Let us know. What's happening? It keeps happening, folks. It keeps happening. Sorry about that. But let us know how you feeling about your teams. I'm gonna be honest. We've got my coach on this morning. I'm feeling pretty good. I am feeling pretty good about my team. How are you feeling about your team? How are you all feeling about your Cup Match teams? I'm feeling absolutely great. Absolutely great. All right, folks. Well, that's greetings to you all. Is this finally St. George's year? Well, Coach Clay Smith, St. George's Cricket Club, Coach Clay Smith is joining us in a bit, and he'll, share a bit about why St. George's fans should be a bit excited this year. Yeah, he'll share a bit about why we should be excited. The Daily Play is going to be some Cup Match trivia today. And if you haven't already, make sure you go to our website, you subscribe, make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. Help us out. Help us, grow beyond the mic as we focus on growing our platform. Well, Miss Ellen Kate Horton says, I love mine. So she loves her team. Well, I guess. We've got Suzanne Ingham says, good morning, Jamal. I'm late. I'm excited to be back in TDH House. my second day of retirement. Forgot what day it was already. Congratulations on retirement and welcome back. You're not late. We've had some technical difficulties this morning, but all is well on our end, Suzanne. Hopefully you are doing just fine. All right, folks, let's get into it. Here's the question of the morning. What does cup match mean to you beyond cricket? What does cup match mean to you beyond cricket? That's the question this morning. And as mentioned, the teams have been selected, the stage is set, and we all know who will represent both St. George's and Somerset in this year's Cup Match Classic. Now, for the next week, the island will be filled with predictions, banter, bragging rights, and debate over who should have made the team and who was unlucky to miss out. That's part of what makes Cup Match so special, right? It's Bermuda's biggest sporting event, and few occasions bring the island together quite like it. But as exciting as cricket is, these players represent something much bigger than the clubs they'll take to the field or the colors that they'll wear. They represent a tradition rooted in emancipation. Cup Match didn't simply begin as a cricket game. It evolved from matches played by friendly societies as part of the celebration of freedom. The cricket game became a way to commemorate emancipation, honor the resilience, and bring communities together. This history must not be ignored. As time passes, it's natural for traditions to evolve. Every generation adds something new. But evolution should never come at the expense of understanding why the tradition exists in the first place. These players aren't just representing Somerset or St. George's. They're carrying a legacy that stretches back generations. They represent people who, despite their what they endured, the hardships, found reasons to celebrate community and hope. Whether you're selected or not, whether your club wins or loses, that responsibility doesn't change. I often said that one of my greatest concerns is that we're becoming better at celebrating than commemorating. Yeah, I took that from someone last week. We enjoy the cricket, the camping, the food, the music, and the holiday. There's nothing wrong with any of that. In fact, that's what makes Cup Match uniquely Bermudian. But I hope we never lose sight of why we gather in the first place. Because if we forget the history, we risk reducing Cup Match to just another sporting event, which it isn't. It's a celebration of emancipation, a remembrance of those who came before us, and a reminder of how far we've come as a people. So congratulations to every player who earned selection this year. Wear your colors with pride, represent your club with passion, but also remember that you're representing something far greater than yourselves. You're representing history. So again, question this morning is, for you, the audience, what does Cup Match mean to you beyond the cricket? Think about that, share it with us. We'll take a break, come back, and we've got a poll for you. It's also Christmas in July still. We've got some giveaways, and we may give away a ticket or two as well. We'll be back in a short bit.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
All righty, welcome back, folks. So, look, teams have been selected. Cup Match selection. Actually, let me take this moment real quickly. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who, audience, let us know. Did you watch Cup Match selection night? Did you watch Cup Match selection night? It was an awesome production. I want to give a big shout out to Lamern Woods and his team over at Crimson Multimedia and Crimson Studios. Of course, Jason Ford, one half of the Voice of Summer. Props to him, always bringing the data and information. And of course, the commentary from former Cup match a player for Somerset and current Bayless Bay president Stephen Otterbridge, as well as former St. George's Cup match captain Lionel Titcan. Amazing night with those gents. They brought the energy, they brought the facts, they brought conversation that is very much needed. They were honest. They were honest. They brought a lot of transparency. That kind of gives you an understanding of the state of the game today. I appreciate them. I want to thank them once again. And honestly, I look forward to doing it again with them next week. So much gratitude to both Stephen Otterbridge and Lionel Can, as well as Jason Juggling J, whatever you call him, for it. Big up to all those in studio. But I also want to send a lot of love to those who were at the field, Philip behind the camera, Central and Fully, who were in front of the camera at Somerset, and then down St. George's, Raj was shooting behind the camera. We had Larry Marshall Jr. and Justin Bell on camera down in the East. So a lot of love to them. And then we had Stephanie, who was behind the camera at the big picnic, Bermuda, and we had Marlena, who was out front, to Hannah and Keitha and Tiffany, always doing their thing back in the back as well to make sure this night goes off, but also to our various partners that honestly make it worth it. We've got HSBC, Carry Genetics, Medical Health, People's Pharmacy, Auto Solutions, Friesenbrook, Curb, Road Safety, Consul. I'm trying to do this all off the top of my head, folks. The Ministry of Home Affairs under MP Alexa Lightbourne, Minister Alexa Lightbourne, sorry. Yeah, I think I covered all bases. One Communications, Bermuda College. Yeah, Bermuda College. Thank you to all of them for making it happen. But again, question of the morning, audience: what does Cup match mean to you beyond cricket, if anything? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? And also the poll question. We kind of asked a similar question last week, but is enough being done? Actually, let's just add it. Is enough being done to preserve Cup match? That's the question. Is enough being done to preserve Cup match? That's the poll question this morning. So let us know. Do you believe enough is being done? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is enough being done to preserve the historical significance of Cup match? Do you think enough is being done? Karen Edwards Simmons says, yes, I watched Cup match selection night. Awesome. Charles H. Justice II says, next week you're doing a post-Cup match show with them. Of course not. That's not how it works, unfortunately. That's not how the World Cup works, any of that stuff. But no, that's not how it works. We are not doing that. But you definitely can tune into the Daily Hour and we have a breakdown. But no, once an event is done, unfortunately, we don't have an ESPN in Bermuda where we can do that. And we don't have the resources to do that. But great idea in principle. All right, folks, and the excitement for Cup matches going by Bermudians after it's done. So you meet the audience where they are. It's done. That's just the facts. Once it's done, they don't care until the next year, June or July. All right, folks, let us know. We're speaking about what Cup match means to you this morning. Again, new group of players were selected to play the game this year. Again, congratulations to them. I think we'd all agree that Cup match is Bermuda's biggest sporting event. The excitement of selection, island-wide banter, like it's exciting, right? I mean, I love the banter. I mean, it doesn't get, we don't get tired of the banter between Somerset and St. George's. But I really, really hope that through it all, people understand and remember that Cup match's roots, it's rooted in emancipation and the friendly societies. Players represent that history when they take the field. Again, I'm going to keep quoting. Stacey Lee has said, Rashida said, we need to focus more on commemorating over celebrating, like commemorate the occasion, right? And I appreciate the clubs. Somerset Cricket Club in particular, they had the emancipation story last week. Awesome presentation by Rashida Godwin. And what I really liked about what Rashida done, and folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure, is she didn't tell you everything. She gave you a guide as to how to do your own research. So encouraging people to do that. And I'll say this, again, I was disappointed last week that there were no former Cop Match coaches, former Cop Match players, former Cop Match captains. They're in attendance because the responsibility is on them, as well as clubs and schools and families. It's important that our traditions are not lost. It's important that we highlight the greatest aspect of our traditions, right? So I really hope we can put the history front and center. And again, I appreciate what the clubs have done over recent years to make sure that they've included the stories as much as possible. The government has done a decent job of making sure, changing the second day from Sir George Somers Day to Mary Prince Day. I was speaking to our young intern last week, and she said that she was taught, she's 22, I think, she was taught about Mary Prince. I mean, I never knew about her. So at least that seems to be changing in the schools. But again, audience, what does Cup Match mean to you? I'm going to be honest with you. Growing up, all it meant was St. George's versus Somerset. That's what it meant to me. It meant like cheering for my team. Now, my niece, my 3-year-old niece, what it means to her is 1 minute just for Somerset, 1 minute just for St. George's. Right? Like she has no clue. I mean, she's gonna get kicked out of the family if she don't make up her blue mind in a few. But I think that's a time, like, her mind's a sponge, right? I think it's important for her to know that it's about more than a cricket game, and let her know at that age of this is why Cup Match happens, because she takes everything in. So if you get them while they're young, great. Like I would love to see more stories about the story of Bermuda. I'm grateful to Curb. I am grateful to them because they gave us some did you know snippets the other night that we shared. Again, we're talking about picnics, folks. Picnics. That's how this all came about. Let's go to the audience. Again, audience, what does Cup Match mean to you? Now it means so much more. I still love the banter. I still want a St. George's victory, but I plan on reading the Mary Prince story book that Suzanne Ingham was so gracious to give to me as a gift last week. As I celebrate the holiday, I plan to learn a bit more about what Rashida was talking about and told us. That's what it means to me at this point in my life. Is over the years, the banter's gotten greater, but the history never forgotten. I appreciate being able to dress up, enjoy the day, but I think the opportunity to educate, inform, and engage is of most importance for us all. So let's go to the audience. What does Cup Match mean to you? And also, is enough being done to preserve the historical significance of Cup Match? Is enough being done? We've got what Cup Match means to you. Suzanne Ingham says it means 2 days off to rest, listen, watch the game, cheering for my St. George's, to whom I'm forever true. All right. We've got Charles H. Duffs II. I said I enjoyed hearing the thoughts on the state of cricket in Bermuda. Like everything else, it appears that we are having a hard time getting young people involved in playing cricket. Charles, I think I took your angle the other night, though, during that, because as I said that night, Stephen Outerbridge, awesome commentary. I mean, if you've never heard Stephen Outerbridge and Lionel Can, it's just straight brutal honesty. Brutal honesty. I mean, they shared things that you saw cross over into cricket and Cup Match itself, right? And I think, yes, and economics plays a role in the standard of cricket, with people having jobs, not being able to play open cricket, and why overs in 2020 works for a lot of guys. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room that Charles is always often bringing up on this program, that there are less Bermudians, right? There are less people. And if there are less people in Bermuda, there's less children in Bermuda. So I don't think we can have a discussion about, less players and less people playing cricket if we're not having a conversation about less people and less options in Bermuda, right? So I think that's par for it. What else, audience? What else? What does cup match mean to you beyond the cricket, beyond the banter? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? And is enough being done to preserve the historical significance of cup match? Whose responsibility is that, right? Whose responsibility is it? This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. I'm going to say it'd be great if, I know school is not in during the summer, but it'd be great if they could teach various aspects of it throughout the year. I think it's necessary, it's needed. It's not history that should be left where it is, if that makes sense. Dorian says all the money spent during cup match goes right back to the slave masters. We need to find ways to so the Black community can benefit financially. What I think he's saying is, last year I remember someone doing a post about some alcohol brand or company that represents alcohol brands in Bermuda doing something at cup match, and they just said like, this is everything that cup match is not supposed to be, right? And again, they say more. I've seen it that in the news years ago. I'm not sure if this is still the case, but it's been said that more money flows through Bermuda during cup match than any other time outside of Christmas. So yeah, I'm not quite sure that's what the ancestors meant by celebrating emancipation. All right, folks, not trying to kill anyone's joy. I think it should still be a fun time. All right. All right. Going to give some thanks to Titan Express and Secure, but we do have Coach Smith coming up. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have Coach Gennaro Taco on this week. He was offered the opportunity, but unfortunately, he's unable to make it this week. So we will have Coach Clay Smith from St. George's this week. We may try to get a recorded conversation with Coach Tucker, but as far as being live, we're not able to have him. So just want to put that out there because then, you will be talking about there's some bias in her and, it is, but I'm not that blatant with it. All right. I'm not that blatant with it. So let's give some things. Hello from Philadelphia, says Shirley J. Carter. Shirley J. Carter. Hello from Bermuda. And Philadelphia just picked up LeBron James. Yeah. I saw tickets went from like $1 to like $500. I'm joking. I'm being extreme, but they definitely took a jump, folks. So LeBron James, the city of brotherly love, is in his house. All right, folks, let's show some love to Titan Express Secure. We'll give you a days of the year. And then after the days of the year, we will take a break. And then we'll be back with St. George's Cricket Club coach, Clay Smith.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural expressions, they set their standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
All righty, folks. It is, wait for it. It is National Chicken Finger Day. Chicken Finger Day. So I want to ask you all, what is your favorite dipping sauce? What's your favorite dipping sauce for like chicken nuggets, chicken fingers, chicken wings? What's your favorite dipping sauce? I'm going to go first. I don't know if you all are familiar with, what's it called? Polynesian sauce. But if you go to Chick-fil-A has this Polynesian sauce. And folks, it's like heaven in the sauce. Like it's like heaven in a little box thing. But Polynesian sauce, that's my favorite dipping sauce. What is your favorite dipping sauce? I remember growing up, it was sweet and sour, particularly McDonald's sweet and sour. But what is your favorite dipping sauce? We've got Renee Sherlin says honey mustard sesame seed. Okay, honey mustard sesame seed. I don't think I've tasted that. Honey mustard sesame seed. That sounds interesting. What else, audience? What's your favorite dipping sauce? Now, in honor of Cup Match Week, where a lot of people eat fried fish, I'm going to say I think the Bermudian dipping sauce would be harder. Ugh, nasty, nasty, nasty. We've got Charles H. Jeffers II says Polynesian sauce or honey mustard, nothing spicy. Brother can't take the heat. Can't take the heat. Let us know your favorite dipping sauce. I'll go through these last few comments real quickly about what Cop Match means to you. We've got Traveling Charlie says it's taught in public schools. However, more than 50% of school-age children in private schools, do they teach in their schools? Well, I couldn't answer that. That's something you need to ask them. We've got Dexter Smith, former Cop Match player, says Cop Match means community for all of Bermuda, not just East and West, St. George's and Somerset. It's been cheapened and denigrated over the years by enmity in both camps and a misrepresentation that Cop Match is about the communities of St. George's and Somerset alone at the expense of the 7 parishes in between. Nor is it East versus West, as players can come from all over on both sides. The friendly societies entrusted the clubs to take over stewardship, but not turn it into the tribal war. And it ends there. He probably had more that he shared, but I take his point. It isn't an East versus West. The clubs are just in the most eastern part and western part of the island. And yeah, I would say it is about the entire island, which is why the entire island chooses a side. But folks, do not go anywhere. We'll be back in a few. We've got the coach of Somerset Cricket Club, Clay Smith, stopping by. So don't go anywhere. Stick with us. And we've got that Christmas in July giveaway. We'll give away some Cop Match tickets. We've got to give away some car washes today and tomorrow. So it is Cop Match Week in Bermuda. It's Emancipation and Merry Prince Day later this week. Stick with us.
Guess what? Bermuda's most popular game is back. That's right, Shoe Buy is back in stores. But wait, there's more. The brand new Shoe Buy Summer Edition is here too. Bring the laughs, the vibes, the friendly chaos to your barbecues and summer get-togethers with Bermuda's favorite game. Don't miss your chance to get yours. Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on social media to learn more.
One lucky box in the summer edition has a golden ticket with the chance to win a grand prize courtesy of One Communications.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast, so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Class of 2026. What's your next chapter? University overseas? Bermuda College? Or your first job? HSBC Bermuda can help you start strong.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Open an HSBC Bermuda bank account and receive a $100 gift card from a local retailer or Amazon.com. And every successful referral receives a $50 reward. Hurry! This limited time offer ends July 31st. Apply online at hsbc.bm/nextchapter, and within 2 business days, an HSBC team member will guide you through the final steps. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Ever taken medication and thought, why is this hitting me so hard? Or why isn't this doing anything at all? Here's something you may not know. Your body processes medication the same way it needs to process food, using enzymes. And these enzymes metabolize medication so it can be converted into its useful form or removed from your body. Pharmacogenetics looks at how your DNA influences the way your body metabolizes or breaks down medications. It helps explain why a drug that works well for one person causes side effects in another and barely works at all for someone else. That means the same pill at the same dose can feel very different from one person to the next. It's not about blame, it's not about doing something wrong, it's simply biology. And once you know what works best for you, medication decisions stop being guesswork and start becoming personalized.
I love to see the colors. I love to see the different camps decorated. I love to see the camaraderie, the banter that takes place. So I look forward to the game. I look forward to all of its elements and also the accessory and things that take place on the margins of Cup Match. So the events and also other opportunities to celebrate and also come together as a community. I mean, cricket is this one sport that traces through the region. You have those who leave Bermuda and go and support the T20 cricket matches in Antigua and Barbados. Their players and their celebration and also showcasing of the sport of cricket is what we do in Bermuda. And so it's another commonality, it's another indication of that shared culture, shared identity, and it's a way in which we in indirect ways can see the traces of our inherent and ongoing heritage and community.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show, folks. I'm Jamal Hartman. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical, House, Linda's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversation. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, folks. So look, I must say, real quickly before we bring our very special guest in for today, to everyone who braved the rain and came out last week to the second book signing that we had, I want to thank you. Seriously, thank you. You all really, really show up, and I'm being really, really seriously and direct. You don't necessarily do things. At least I don't, thinking that people are going to support the way they do. I'm grateful for it. I have a lot of gratitude for it. And I hope that, your support of me is rewarded by what I'm trying to give to you. So thank you to everyone who's purchased the book, who has showed up and showed love. It's appreciated. I don't take it for granted at all. And your feedback is crucial. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We've got a very special guest, one of my favorite people this time of year as well, the coach of the champions elect. Yep, I'm going there. I've been looking at the forecast, folks. I'm going to tell you before we even bring coach in. I've been looking at the forecast, and according to the forecast, things are actually looking a bit more favorable because earlier this week it wasn't looking too good weather-wise. Somerset were doing the rain dance. Yeah, that rain dance, right? Kind of helped them last year. But this year, I'm joking. Honestly, I just want a good day, great weather. And it looks like we may get that. Things seem to be turning according to the forecast. And that means that, hey, coach, you've got some work to do. You've got a strategy to put in place, and you've got to make sure that your players execute it. Audience, let's give a warm TDH welcome to the coach and a Cup Match legend, one of 5 players to break the 1,000 run mark. Coach of St. George's Cricket Club, Cup Match and League team, Clay Smith. Coach, morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Glad to be here.
We're happy to have you. I must say, Coach, watching the selection the other night, St. George's. Now it was predicted among Stephen and Jason that St. George's would only probably make one change. And they got that right. Now, I don't know if you gave them some insight. I don't know, Coach. I don't know how they knew this. I don't know if they just have cricket minds or whatnot, but the selectors made one change to last year's squad. What does that say about the confidence you and the selection committee have in this group, and why was continuity so important this year? Because Lionel Can actually said, this is how you know, like basically a change is here, because going to the years of 4 or 5 changes. Speak to that.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, we've made 4 or 5 changes trying to get it right. And we've been building a team to challenge Somerset. And last year we had a very good team, with the exception of obviously now Marcus Scotland hasn't played much cricket this year for personal reasons. So everybody within that team has pretty much picked themselves through their performances over the year. And we just feel that this is the way that we want to go, So we've, like I said, we built towards this, towards having a core group of maybe 12 to 13 players that we really, really consider. And the players are showing up and they're showing out, They're making our job that much easier as selectors to get there on the night and pick them pretty much. And this year was pretty straightforward. Like you said, that one spot did cause a little bit of squabble, but nothing too much, So we're looking forward to coming up Summers and putting on a good show for our spectators.
Audience, if you have any questions for Coach Clay Smith, you can send them through. We'll get through as many questions and comments as possible. Now, the player that you took is a Colt, Keegan Jones, who was the captain of St. George's Colt Cup match team yesterday, and I believe got player of the match, a dominant, quite dominant bowling performance. I saw Keegan. I was lucky enough to see him play last summer for the under-19s when you were coaching the team in Georgia, and he had a really good batting display in one of the games. I think 70-plus runs. Speak to what Keegan, as a Colt, brings to this St. George's team that can help them get over the line.
Yeah, Keegan gives us an extra all-rounder. He's an all-rounder, basically a bat, ball, and field. He's very talented in what he does. As you saw yesterday, like you said, he went up to Somerset and got 8 wickets, something that I don't think has ever been done at the Coach Cup match level. So it just shares his worth, He's going to give us, he's an exciting young player. And we're investing in him because we know that he's going to be around. He's one of these kids that loves the game of cricket. Like he even in the final trial, he went off heat stroke. He had to go in the shower and he had to go in the bathroom and got a shower because he had been out the bed for a long time. And he's like, Coach, I want to go back in bed. He just loves cricket. He's very passionate. And, he pretty much picked himself where that is concerned.
Yeah. What do you see now? It's been a while, and you're going up to Somerset Cricket Club. They've got players like Dion Stovall and Malachi Jones who will be retiring, and when players are at that level, they want to just go out on a high. But beyond that, what do you see as the biggest challenge your team will likely face over these 2 days?
The biggest challenge, without a doubt, is bowling Somerset out twice on that wicket, knowing that what type of wicket Somerset traditionally have. They normally have a very flat track up there. It's batting friendly, makes it very difficult to build teams out. So our bowlers going to have to work really hard. We put a lot of emphasis in our fielding over the last couple of years. If you notice, last year we probably was our best display of fielding we've had for a long time. That's something that we're working really hard on because we know if we're going to build Somerset out twice, we really cannot afford to give guys second chances. Guys like Dion Stubble, Tan Frey, you just can't drop them and give them a second chance because they'll make you pay. And even like people like Kamal Lavrock, you just don't want to do that. So the wicket for me and for us is probably going to be the biggest challenge, trying to get something out of that wicket. Hence the reason why, we picked a very we picked the bowlers that we picked pretty much, so that we have some fast bowlers, we have some seamers, but we have 2 left arm spinners and we have 2 right arm off spinners because we do think the wicket's going to turn, especially on day 2. So we'll see what happens.
Indeed. You mentioned biggest challenge being building them out over 2 days. Now, Derek Brangman has been just one of the most dominant bowlers over the last few years in Bermuda. See what he did for Baylor's Bay recently. Speak about the batting that your team is gonna have to put up, the kind of batting against someone like a Derek who just naturally takes wickets regularly.
Yeah, well, we have plans for people like him. Last year I told the players we have to be more attacking minded. Sometimes I think Dak has wickets because players respect it too much and they just let him go, and they don't set out things where he has to change the lengths and lines. If you allow Dak to just keep building at the same line and length, he's going to be dominant. He's going to be cause anybody good problems. But we have different plans. I mean, if you look at last year cup match, one thing that we did do, Delray ended up batting him a lot more than the left-hander ended up batting him a lot more, and it caused Dak problems. Hit him over Myers a few times. So we have some plans on how to bat Dak or whatever the case would be. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
All right. Dorian, so Dorian says, welcome to Coach Smith's. Somerset's president and fans are tuned in. Please don't give them all our secrets. Yes. He said he has plans for that. He didn't share them, folks. He didn't share them at all. This reality hurts me, but it's just reality. St. George's hasn't held the cup since 2012. What lessons have you and the players taken from the previous cup match campaigns? And what must be done differently if you're going to bring the cup back east this year?
Well, if you look at the last couple of years, we've done a lot of different things. One year we built with four spinners and one pacer. We've gone with three pacers and two spinners. So we've always been jockeying and trying to find that right balance as to what's going to work, regardless of which wicket they present. You know what I mean? So right now, I think we have found the balance. The only thing, this year for us, the only unfortunate part is not having that extra quick, fast bowler that we would have liked to have, like a Luke Fulton who brings us that actual pace. But other than that, we think we have the right combination. We do feel we have the right combination because what we focus, as you notice, if you look around now, we focus on bringing more youth into our team, having more energetic, hungry players with a lot of passion. So there, you see these youngsters that are going to be buzzing in the field. They're full of energy. They bring a whole different dimension, and we're just optimistic. We're very positive about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. It's just at the end of the day, it's going to boil down, like you said, to Mother Nature and us really bowling and fielding tremendously well over the 2 days.
Indeed. Now, Coach, I'm going to go back to selection night because, every year there's plenty of debate about team selection. Spoke to President of Somerset, my good friend Richard Scott, the other day about, those who have been left out. How difficult is it to leave players out, and what ultimately separated those who made the final 11 and scored from those who narrowly missed out?
It's always difficult leaving out somebody. I mean, at the end of the night, you probably boil down to really having about 14 players to choose from. But I think people have to understand it's about balance, right? You have to make sure you have enough batsmen. You have to make sure you have enough bowlers. And then there's different types of bowlers that you're looking for. If you're trying to win the cup, you have to have fast bowlers, you have to have spinners, you have seamers, you have people that do different things. And for me, I'm a little bit more tactical. Like I know certain people, like I went up Western contest the other day just to analyze and watch some of the batsmen up there. How do they get out, or what type of bowlers we need to get some of the batsmen out or whatever. So a lot of thought process goes into the selection. We don't just pick players just because who they are or whatever. If the player can bring what we need to the table, then we already have somebody like that, then it makes it that much more difficult. It's like I said, it's from a coaching perspective, it's very difficult leaving people out because people come training and we work hard at training. We work hard, we push them and we push them and we push them. And at the end of the day, to leave somebody else who's worked hard like that is very, it can be discouraging, and I just want to encourage players to keep pushing, because by them coming, training and pushing the other players that much more, it makes us a better team unit. And at the end of the day, whether they're there or not on the day, to play. When we win, it's all of us win. They have been they played an integral part of helping us to win because they've been at the training sessions, burning to our batsmen, giving our batsmen quality burning, and just pushing them, you know. And so yeah, it's one team, one goal. We all win.
Indeed. Now, beyond the training with the ball and the bat, physical preparation, cup matches is much a mental battle as well, right? How have you prepared your players to handle the pressure, the expectation, and the atmosphere that comes with Bermuda's biggest sporting event?
Well, really, the reality is you can't really practice for something like that because you only see it only happens 2 days of the year, and that's cup match, you know. But what we tend to do is I just tell guys we have to be as fit as we can possibly be because I believe that when players are fit, they can concentrate and be mentally strong for longer periods of the game. So that's one thing we focus a lot on this year is getting players as fit as we can possibly get them, you know, so that they can be up for the challenge. I find players, especially over cup match, it's hot. It's extremely hot because now with the camps, everything is closed in, so you don't get a lot of breeze coming through the field, you know, and if players are not conditioned. So we've been having strong talks to our players about making sure they get the water intake, reducing the alcohol intake, and all that type of stuff, so that they can be at the optimal fitness peaks come cup match.
Indeed, indeed. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Coach Smith, you can send them through. Let's go to Charles H. Jeffers a second. He says there was a discussion on selection night about the state of cricket in Bermuda. Has the coach of the 2026 Cup Match champions, speaking of you, seen a decline in the quantity and quality of players?
There's been a decline in players simply because football is taken over. You know, a lot of football is being played right now 24/7 year round, 365 days of the year. You know, you see a lot of young teams going aboard playing football. Yeah, a lot of youngsters going aboard to play football. There's a shorter version of the game, and that's the route that they're taking, you know. But there are some good people out there, places out there, like you look at the Freystar that are very productive, doing positive things for cricket in Bermuda. And there's some people out there doing some positive things, you know. The youngsters, there's some, and don't get me wrong, there are some very good quality youngsters coming through. It's just that there's not a lot of them coming through. So we have to do everything we can to continue to preserve this game and keep it going, you know. I think some of the senior players have to step up a little bit and start taking some coaching roles to make sure that these youngsters are getting taught properly. But that's things that we have to do. There's definitely areas that we have to improve on and keep the youth playing more cricket.
Yeah. Coach, what gives you confidence that this St. George's team that's been selected this year has what it takes to end the drought? What message would you like to send to supporters who'll be making that trip up to Somerset Cricket Club next week and those who will be tuned in online on the radio?
Well, I look at my national team for starters. Let's look at the national team for starters. We just had a Bermuda national tournament here, and there were 14 players selected. Out of the 14 players, 10 of them were from St. George's. That sends a message that the tides are starting to change because we're starting to become more, you know, our players are starting to reach peak levels. And that's been a bonus because these players have been playing and training year round, I mean, with the national team. So if you look at players like Delray Rollins, for instance, Anais Bascom, these guys have elevated their game to a whole different level this year. Southampton Rangers have been dominating the league, you know, and we have a lot of players who are in peak form right now, and that is the most critical thing, that they're peaking at the right time of the year. And then you have those guys like my son Jonte and Zari, who are faithful Chinky. My wicketkeeper and captain Sinclair Smith just came up for scoring 60 in the final trial. You know, then the bowling aspect of it. Having a left arm spinner is trump, as we know. Kevin Farber got 6 wickets in the final trial. I mean, I just think for us as a team, we're really peaking at the right time, and that's very important. Hence the reason I say, if we can field well over the 2 days of cup match, we really, really have a good chance of winning this cup match this year.
Indeed. St. George's fans, I mean, I feel pretty confident after what Coach just said. I'm managing my expectations because of the weather. That's it. The weather. That's the only thing I feel. How are you feeling about that, Coach? Have you been paying attention to the forecast?
Every day, every day, every day. I mean, last year it played a huge part in the result, didn't it? You know, it took about 3.5 hours out of cup match. You know, and when you're trying to win the cup, you need every single minute of cup match, really and truly. You know, so that's something that we'll continue to look at. I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was look outside. It's overcast, had a little rain shower. I'm like, good, let it rain on Monday and let it rain Tuesday. We'll let it rain, get this rain out of the way with, so that Thursday and Friday is 2 good days. You know, that's what we need. That's what Bermuda needs. And that's what the St. George's fans are hoping for. You know.
Yeah. I wanted to, here's a real quick question. I wanted to slip this in because the other day during cup match selection night, the conversation took a turn into going back to the decline in cricket, replacing open cricket with overs and T20. Do you think that has impacted the development? I thought, from an entertainment perspective, it would have made it more exciting and gotten more people to join, made the games a bit shorter to kind of compete with football. But I'd love to hear your perspective on that.
Well, people probably wouldn't like my perspective. I'll be quite honest with you. I actually absolutely hate T20 cricket. T20 cricket to me is just swashbuckling, swiping. There's no sort of thought process for a youngster coming in to play T20 cricket is absolutely not good at all. He has no room to develop, and that's part of the biggest problem, because right now we are, as a country, have sacrificed so much for the sake of our national team, because our national team, the easiest route for them to qualify for the World Cup is through playing T20. So now we focus a lot of our cricket around T20 for the sake of our national team, But in doing that, the development of the sport itself takes a huge drop, and drops off. And that's something that we have to find a balance. We really have to find a balance, because worst case scenario, we have to play more 50 over cricket. And even then, I grew up playing, when I grew up, we were playing open cricket. But youngsters nowadays, they don't want to play the open cricket where you're playing all day and you don't get a result at the end of the day. That's just like, that's not happening. Everybody wants to see a result, so 50 over cricket for me is probably the better version of the game. But from an entertaining perspective, everybody likes this T20 stuff because they want to see sixes and fours. But the true traditional cricket lovers, it's not happening.
Yeah, I take your point, and I think that's what the gentleman said the other night as well. We've got Dexter Smith says overrates. Can we speed up the game between overs just in case there are stoppages? Overrates in Bermuda are notoriously slow, even worse at cup match. Any thoughts on that? Because I want to add to that, because if you anyone who was paying attention to the most recent Eastern County game, there was time wasted by the champions that wasn't received well by others. Can you speak to that in the most layman terms possible?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, the other day when we had our final trial game, that was one key aspect that I was monitoring, as how many overs we were bowling per hour, especially in the beginning, from morning until lunchtime, and then up until the time we declared, because I had estimated that we would bowl about between 50 to 60 overs by 3:30, and we were spot on. We got like 55, and I was like 56 actually. So I was like, okay, not bad. But because cup match comes and you had people running onto the field and people score 50s and people score 100s, that takes up a lot of time. And if that happens 2 or 3 times during the day, you're talking about an easy 10 overs that's being lost throughout the day because of people running on and celebrating and all that type of stuff. And then even you have your water breaks, because it's so hot, people tend to take what should be maybe a 3-4 minute water break ends up being a 7-8 minute water break, and that's another over going. And if you do that 4 times during the day, that's 4 overs you lost as well. So all of that calculates up into the end of the day, and you're probably losing maybe 15, 20 overs at the end of the day. So that's something that we notice and we highlight and we discuss and we'll talk about from a tactical point of view, making sure that we're looking to get our 14 overs an hour. Hence the reason, if you look at it, we have 4 spinners, so we should be getting 14 overs an hour pretty regularly. That's something that we, like I said, we as people that are trying as um, not champions, what are we? Challengers. As challengers, that's something that we have to pay very close attention to, getting as many overs per hour so that we can build Somerset out twice.
Indeed. Go back to the audience. They've got a lot for you, Coach. Charles H.
That's
Jefferson.
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
He says, I was surprised to hear the other night, speaking about selection night with Stephen, Lionel, and Jason, says, I was surprised to hear the other night about how players drink alcohol over the 2 days, with fitness being so important. Have you considered a nutritionist to talk to players about doing more water?
Yeah, I've considered it. And in the past, we've had people come down and talk to the players or whatever the case would be. Most of these guys like I said, most of these guys are with the national squad, so they know the background of it, and they have that background information. There's nothing new to them, but it's unfortunate because Bermudians love to drink, as Bootsy says. You know what I mean? But and especially a younger generation, all we can do is emphasize, and I keep emphasizing to these players right now, is that, listen, if we want something as bad as this, if you want it bad enough, there's some things we have to make sacrifices for. And that's the one sacrifice I'm asking my players to do. I'm not saying to stop it, but you have to really cut back, totally cut back a lot. And if it means stop it altogether, then stop it altogether, because at the end of the day, the winning cup match is a lot bigger than having a couple of drinks, isn't it? And you can drink as much as you want at the end of the day, but let's give our bodies and let's give our team the best opportunity to win. So we have to make some sacrifices. And my players know, and each of them, they're at a stage now where they're talking to each other and say, look, let's tune in. It's that time of the year. We've got to really focus. We've got to make the sacrifices. So the players know, for the most part, we have a good group of players who have made some changes to their eating habits and their drinking habits or whatever the case may be. So yeah.
Coach, the other night, Stephen Otterbridge spoke very highly of St. George's captain, Sinclair Smith. And I remember you were raving about him last year on this program. You were raving about him. And Stephen kind of echoed what you said. You just spoke one of the biggest differences he saw in St. George's performance last year was Sinclair's leadership. Can you speak to that? Because I think I said to you last year when you mentioned it that Larry Marshall Sr. would always say the 2 most important leadership positions in sports were the quarterback in American football and the captain of a cricket team. Speak to the leadership capabilities that Sinclair possesses.
Well, Sinclair himself as a person, he's a sound person. He's somebody that's approachable. He can talk to him. He has good vision. He's a student of the game. And it was weird because I remember last year I was going down to Sinclair and I was like, hey, listen, I want to have a field placing. I want to go to the field placing for this batsman here or whatever, with that batsman. And he'd be like, hold on a second, coach. And he opened his book. He had a book there where he had already been done his homework. So I was like, okay, this is what I loved. I love this because he's a student. So it made my job that much easier because I know that the captain is already thinking on those terms, So that's good because, and it's funny, but even just yesterday, I sent him another thing because I was like, listen, just want to have a refresh to make sure we're on the same page, so he will be looking at what I'm sending him and he'll send something back to me. He's somebody that, like I said, continuously always looking to learn the game and get better at the game. And the most important thing that is that the players respect as a coach, his ability. He's very approachable. He's humble. And being a wicketkeeper, you see things easy. You see the whole field from his position, And then we have other players in the field who are captains as well. You have Anais Baskin, you have Delray Rollins, who's international. You have Mackay Simmons, who's been a captain. You have a lot of other players who have a host of knowledge, so, and they know that they can go through him to tap into him or whatever and his really approachable, and is always willing to take on information. So that's very important. So I think, we're good where that's concerned,
Here's
Yeah.
Stacey and Brown asking, how do you keep your players encouraged and motivated to play the game after not winning for so long? Do the losses impact them mentally?
The losses do not impact them at all, because as players, the one thing I tell players is that we will sacrifice losing every year trying to win cup match. We're not going to play for a draw. If we have to go up there and declare on the second innings of only 150 runs so that we can have a chance to try and win the cup, we'll do that. We're going to sacrifice every year losing in order to win this cup back, because, and so they're hungry. And I think motivation within itself, and it's weird, I'm glad you said that, because the other day we were training, and I stopped and I looked at everybody and I said, guys, who in this group has actually won cup match? Who knows what it feels like to win cup match? Because a lot of you guys have won league titles, you win knockout trophies with your clubs, but how many of you here actually won a cup match? And I think it was only like one player maybe out of the whole group that has actually won cup match. So I said, so the motivation behind it is very simple. Listen, whatever feeling you felt when you won that trophy, whether you won an Eastern Connie Cup or whatever trophy you won playing for your league team, times that by 10. Times that by 10. That's the feeling, the atmosphere, you have. And sometimes, I mean, I know I won't say what I do, but between my final speech that I have with the players, I have something special for them, because sometimes you have to see it. I'm one of those coaches that I like my players to visualize and see themselves actually winning. They have to visualize it and see it happening, so for them to believe it. That year down at Cleveland when I was coaching, we actually went to Bayless Bay as a team the day before Connie Cup. We got in a circle. I said, I want every single player visualize what it's like, going to be like winning this trophy. And it's funny because some things that we talked about that, for instance, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Jason Anderson, for instance, he said, I just visualized myself taking a dive and catch over somebody, and so said, so done. In that game, he taught OJ Pitcher, snicked off, he took a one-handed dive and catch. Things like that, you don't just happen, you have to see it happening. And then the celebration, what it's going to feel like winning, having the march, having the club skip a ride on a horse from the square coming out to the club. Like, they have to see these things happening. They have to believe it. And to me right now, that is the biggest thing for us to be successful. Our players have to believe. I don't think there's no difference in terms of ability between Somerset and St. George's. Right now is that self-belief. And I think right now we're in a good space. Going into this cup match, we're in probably the best space we've been in for a long, long, long time. Like I said, a lot of our players are peaking at the right time. And we're just hoping that everything comes together on the 2 days.
Indeed, Coach. Sherry-Lynn Lilly says, have you all ever considered introducing cricket camps, either during school breaks or during the summer, that introduce youngsters to the game in a way that is comprehensive but condensed? How do the clubs invite youngsters in through special programs? Well, when I was coming up, I went to cricket camp every summer. They used to have them. I don't know if they still do.
Well, the BCBC has a cricket camp up at Work Academy. Before, when we were younger, they used to have cricket camps all throughout the island. So in 4 different places, St. George's, Somerset, maybe in town, Devonshire or whatever. They had them in the 4 different locations. Right now, they just have one big group. But there's youth cricket. There's youth cricket going on. I know myself, for instance, I used to run a summer camp. Last year was the first year I didn't have it, and this year I stopped, obviously for health reasons or whatever. But I used to personally run a cricket camp out of St. George's, and I would have anywhere from 15 to 20 kids easily. Because, like I said, I believe the future is through the youngsters, and we have to give them something. We have to provide an avenue for them to blossom, and we have to start them at a young age to get their interest, but we have to have more of that, It's hot out there, but we have to have more of it, and hopefully we can do that over the coming years.
Indeed. One last question from the audience. Charles H. Jeffs
Sure.
II is asking, Does the team stay in a hotel over the 2 days and or take a boat up Somerset?
Yeah, the team stay in a hotel definitely over the 2 days. Both teams stay in hotels, and we just go from there. So we get from there. We get the bus takes us up to the games or whatever, and we have So that's a traditional thing. There's no more boat, no more like it used to be before. The boat used to leave St. George's or leave Somerset and go to St. George's and vice versa. But there's no boat anymore. But both teams do stay in a hotel, and they do get transported to the game and from the game.
Coach, before you head out, we were speaking about this earlier. It was a question of the morning. So beyond cricket, what does cup match mean to Clay Smith?
Well, I know all about the history of it. When I look back at the players that paved the way, it's for me, it's not all about trying to make sure that this younger generation understand the importance of cup match from the playing side of it and the non-playing side of it. So for me, it's all about educating the youngsters now to make sure that they understand both aspects of it. I'm glad you said that, because the other day I actually was assisting Ryan Steed with the Colts Cup match team and in their preparations for this year's Colts Cup match. And we actually, at the end of the training session, we actually stopped and we brought them all together. And for about 15 minutes, that's the discussion that we had. I asked them, I said, how many of you guys could tell me how cup match started? And they said, oh, something. One of them said, oh, I think it was a picnic or something like that. And then one of them replied, I really don't know, coach. So we spent about 15 minutes just educating them, So I said, I think it's important that we just continue to educate our youngsters and help them to come through and understand the importance of cup match from the playing aspect and the non-playing aspect of it.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate you. Appreciate everything that you have done to try to not just show them how to play cricket, but educate them and help them become better people. Wishing you all the best as you take the field. Your team takes the field. Your team takes the field this coming cup match, and I look forward to connecting with you as champions Friday evening.
Yes, thank you. I look forward to this 2 days. All I do is, the one thing I ask my fans, don't give up on us, continue to support us, continue to be strong, and come up Somerset and be our 12th man. Make sure you wear your blue and blue proud.
There you go. Have a great one, sir. All the best.
Thank you. No problem. Appreciate you. Cheers.
All right. St. George's Cricket Club coach of cup match. That was Clay Smith, folks. You don't want to go anywhere because we're not done. We've got Christmas giveaway coming up after this break. So stick with us. We're going to give away a cup match ticket and a car wash, VIP car wash. Stick with us.
Yeah, I don't got this. I'm gonna be fast at delivery and run.
Oh, don't pay me enough for that,
Oh, no, sugar! Okay, who's the faster? Who's the fastest? Me. Talk to me. No more stress. Just sit back.
My name is Taryn Frey. I'm Somerset Cricket Club's cup match captain. As a young player, just still learning my craft, I came into a team that was pretty established at the time. And then my very first year playing, we actually lost the cup. So I actually experienced failure and defeat in my very first cup match as a player. But then to play over these years and be a winner the very next year, and having retained the cup from 2012, I've seen the game in my eyes go from just a match to me kind of being in control of the match, right on up until now my captaincy, and having a direct influence on a lot of the decisions that are made around the team selection, how we approach both our innings from a bowling standpoint and a batting standpoint, and just it's pretty much encompassed my whole latter part of my career. I appreciate it a lot. It has definitely made me a better person, not just a better cricketer. The experiences, And yeah, I would encourage all of our young players coming through, to stick with it. Even though things might not be going your way right now, a lot can change in 1 or 2 years. So.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Bermuda, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal, especially when you can feed the whole family without stretching your wallet. With the affordable Bermuda basket, you'll find savings on everyday staples like rice, chicken, corn, and more. Everything you need to make a good meal for less. Shop the Bermuda basket at Lindo's, Marketplace, the Garden Market, and the English Market. Visit costofliving.gov.bm to see the full list of goods and start planning your meals. This is a message from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Friesenbrook, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit friesenbrook.bm to learn more.
Sinclair Smith, big keeper batsman, captain of St. George's, lead cricket captain as well for St. George's. Yeah, born and raised St. George's bred. My favorite cup match memory would have to probably be my coat year of Somerset 2016. Scoring 42 runs, second innings, getting close to my half century. While teams had a lot of doubt on me at the time. Some people didn't think I earned my spot during that year, so kind of proving people wrong. And 10 years later, now captain of St. George's. I think that was a defining moment in my cricket career, I'll say. As captain, your job is kind of not just on the day. You kind of got to manage these guys in training, off the field as well, making sure guys have got good behaviors going on through the month, through cup match. So for me, my main job is if I could get everybody that extra 10% better on the day, rather it's through motivation, putting them in the right position to succeed. That's kind of my job. My game comes along, wicket keeping is kind of a thing I do as a natural, but I know teams that play well together usually have good results together. So that's my thing, that team harmony.
All right, welcome back to the big show, folks. Jamel Hartman here. Thanks again to St. George's Cricket Club coach Clay Smith for stopping by. Awesome conversation with him. But I want to give a big shout out to BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can do this. Also want to just give another second big shout out to HSBC and all of the partners, Carry Genetics, Medical House, Auto Solutions, Bermuda College, One, the Road Safety Council, Curb, and so many others, Friesenbrook. Just incredible support to ensure that we can have an engaging night of mature, in-depth analysis and commentary for Cup Match Selection Night. So we are grateful for the support that we continue to get to be able to do something like that. And keep in mind, yes, we're talking a lot about players being selected, but also I really appreciate Curb providing the Did You Know segment where we were sharing facts and information about uh, you know, the history connected to Cup Match in Bermuda. All right, folks. Got to give you a daily play, and I want to ask this again because I feel like people forget this. It was asked the other night, and people were all over the place. I feel like I don't even want to play the daily play because it just upsets me that people don't know this. So I'm going to ask it. Audience, can you please tell me? Should I even play the music? Let's play the music. Please tell me. What year did Somerset win the cup from St. George and have since held on to it? What year? Jewel Eve would be correct. You know, people were given like 2006 and it was 2012. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it was 2012, not 2013, not 2016, not 2014. It was 2012, folks. 2012 when Somerset wrestled that trophy away, and after 14 years, St. George's will be looking to wrestle it back this year. So. All righty, let's get put up hashtag Cop Match. We're going to give away a ticket to Cop Match, so you can just hashtag Cop Match as I give my final thoughts. We asked this morning what Cop Match means to you beyond cricket, and unfortunately, not many of you had much to share. Not disappointing because some people love to keep their thoughts to themselves. What I'll say is, I said this to someone recently. Sometimes you just want to give up and leave people where they are. And other times you feel a sense of responsibility to share what you know. Not everyone's a seeker. Not everyone's going to seek knowledge and want information and want to know things. And that's okay. But for those who do want information, for those who have information they want to share, I'd encourage you to engage. I'd encourage you to speak amongst your peers. Because I love a good time, folks. I love to have fun. I know you see me on here, he's so serious, he's grumpy, whatever, but I love to have fun. I love sports. I love the competitive nature of it. The World Cup has healed relationships with me and some folks. Trust me. I love it. I love what sport can do. But what I love even more than sport is learning about history and traditions that were never shared to me. The understanding of that information. So I know Cup Match take place. I know it takes place, but I never knew the why. And that's not anyone's fault necessarily. And I'm not looking at this to blame anyone. I'm sharing this to say we have an opportunity to ensure that a new generation of people cannot sit around and say the same thing in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Let's all take the responsibility to speak to someone about the history of what this game represents. As far as the conversation with Coach Clay Smith, as was said during Cup Match selection night, St. George spent years chopping and changing. Made one change, which was kind of almost like a forced change because, according to the coach and others, Marcus Scotland, who will be a big miss, has not really played much cricket this year per Clay Smith earlier. So there was an opening there. And as I said, I got to witness Keegan Jones, the young fella, last year for the Bermuda under-19 national team. And he had a pretty good Cup Match yesterday, and I really wish him the best. He loves cricket, as the coach said. But I appreciate how transparent the conversations about cricket, the state of cricket, and the players has been over the last few days. And I'm encouraged that if nothing else, St. George's is sending a team up there with the mentality that we will deliver a result over the 2 days if the weather cooperates. So it should be an exciting time. All right, folks, you all just want to see if you want a ticket to the game. So let's do the VIP car wash first. We're going to do the car wash first, all right? Let's do the car wash. All right, let's hit it. See if I got the drum roll right. Car wash, VIP car wash for Auto Solutions, Christmas in July. Who's got it? Island, 911 Island girl, you got yourself a car wash. Congratulations to you. All right, make sure you send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. So send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. All right, let's spin it again and see who's going to win a ticket to Cup Match 2026. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can get the drum roll correct, folks. Off again. Kiz's Delight 03. All right. You want a ticket to Cup Match. So send us an email. Send us an email to engage@thedailyhour.com today. Send everything today. We'll do tomorrow again. Tomorrow will be our final show prior to Cup Match. And we will do some more giveaways, Christmas in July. I just want to give a shout out to President Richard Scott, Somerset Cricket Club, and Neil Painter of St. George's Cricket Club. They are amazing to work with. Really appreciate, especially Richard Scott being the hosting club this year. I just hope that they continue to get the support from the community beyond Cup Match. So thanks so much to them. I got to give you some daily inspiration, don't I? Well, here we go. Let's give you some daily inspiration. Let's give you some daily inspiration. All right. I'm going to choose from the Journey Within. And we're going to just land on a page, folks. We're going to land on a page, and I'll read the first quote that comes from that page. All right. Ooh. This is a brutal one, but I'm going to share it. And, I woke up. I couldn't sleep last night, and I'll end it on this. I don't want to end it on this, but this is all reality today. So I woke up last night about 1 a.m. And the first story I read that came from the police was about a confirmed firearms incident. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like anyone was injured. The second one I read was about a serious vehicle accident, collision up in the Western End. And then there was an update after that stating that the person had succumbed to their injuries. So I just want to send love. I want to send condolences to the family, friends, and the greater community of the person who has passed. Not the news that you want, especially at any time, but especially as we're entering a holiday. But this is the quote that I scrolled and it landed on. And it's in my book, The Journey Within. You can purchase it today. It says, quote, "Here today, gone tomorrow, missed in the moment, then soon forgotten." End quote. It's harsh, but so true. Enjoy as much about life and the folks you love while you can. I've got to head out now, folks, but got a flight to catch today. But don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. BR is out. Peace.